We got the call in the dead of night, urgent orders to carry out a classified maritime mission. As we loaded up our gear in silence, there was a tension in the air that this was no ordinary op. Once on board the destroyer, we were briefed on Operation Abyss, infiltrate an abandoned oceanic research facility located in a little-known deep-sea trench and gather intel. As we descended into the pitch-black waters in our submersible, I couldn't shake a growing feeling of dread. None of us were briefed fully on what we might find down there. Why so much secrecy around this abandoned research facility? What were we about to swim into? The mounting pressure squeezed the sub as we plunged deeper into the midnight zone. This mission already felt different, and we hadn't even reached our target yet. Reaching the research station, my fellow SEALs and I swam out into the jet-black abyss, our way lit only by our headlamps. There was no sound, except for the occasional metallic creak of the station as ocean currents pushed against it. We pulled ourselves through a moon pool entrance and made our way through lightless corridors. The power was out. Debris and mud coated the floors and walls. No signs of life. Then we heard it. A distant, inhuman shriek reverberated through the facility. We froze. My heart pounded in my ears. Motioning silently, we pushed onto the main research lab, rifles ready. Inside, a nightmarish sight. Twisted, mutated bodies floating in water-filled tanks. Banks of computers and equipment lay smashed and useless. What the hell had the researchers been doing down here? What had they awakened? The shrieks grew louder now. Closer. The floor started vibrating. We had to get out fast. Swimming back to the entry point, I risked a look back. Saw a massive, writhing, unknown horror undulating up from the lightless depths. This mission had awoken something that should never have been disturbed. We barely made it to the submersible before the entire station collapsed into the trench, with that nameless horror disappearing back into the black void below. When we surfaced, we wasted no time in reporting exactly what we witnessed down there, no matter how disturbing or hard to believe. As debriefed by protocol, our commanders observed the operation remotely the entire time. I'll never forget the looks of shock and dismay on their faces as we recounted the mutated bodies, unearthly shrieks, and massive horror that erupted from the abyssal depths. There was no doubt or disbelief, only grave concern at the implications of this creature being unleashed. They assured us that while the events were deeply troubling, we performed our mission with courage and professionalism, but I could tell by their solemn tones and hushed conversations that our report was being taken immensely seriously. Likely emergency meetings and calls to higher chains of command would soon follow. In the days that passed, I overheard words like national security threat and containment procedures. Special research teams were being rapidly assembled and deployed. I knew our superiors now shared the same burden of knowledge we gained in those blackened ocean depths. The Pandora's box opened by Operation Abyss could never be fully closed again. We had only glimpsed the horrors lying in the eternal night, but it was enough to trigger protective measures against what might emerge from below. The abyss had been disturbed, and we would all have to reckon with what we unleashed from that cold, black water.